Hi and welcome back. I finally shaved, and I just briefly wanted to talk about the game that I have been playing this few days. I'm about 8 hours into the game, and I don't really want to start another really big RPG because next week we are, of course, getting Lunar Collection. So I'm playing, I wanted to play something that I could beat in like 20 hours or so, or 30 hours. It depends on how long the game is going to, you know, keep going. And that game is Beyond Good and Evil from Ubisoft, released on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. It is what a lot of people call a hidden gem. For a lot of people, this is one of the best games Ubisoft ever made. I also was playing Rayman 3 a little bit, and I actually beat a few levels, and wow, that game is great too. But I never played Beyond Good and Evil. I never really understood the hype of Beyond Good and Evil 2, that we all know we will never see that game ever. Now, I am at the slaughterhouse. I don't know how far that into the game is. I don't know how big the game is, but I love the art design in this game. It is very unique. It's very gamey, if you understand what I mean. Like it's a world you only see in video games or perhaps movies. I like Jade as a character. I like the Piggy character. I forgot his name, but the Piggy character, I like him too. I really like that. Even though we have these huge open world games nowadays, back then you also had a sort of semi open world you could consider an open world, where in Beyond Good and Evil you are in Highland and you have a sort of hovercraft ship that you can upgrade, and you need crystals for it, and there are different paths you can take. Now, I'm not saying that the paths for a storyline, but there are sort of hidden things that you can do. There are races that you can do, and you can sort of walk around that city and buy upgrades, buy health items, etc., etc. Even do some mini games, and it feels, especially if you consider back in the day, it probably would have felt like, wow, what a giant world. Now, I have read here and there that eventually you actually go out to space. Not entirely sure, like in Rogue Galaxy style, where you go to different planets. I don't know. I am not that far into the game, but I really like the game. Now, on the gameplay itself, the combat system is, you could definitely say it's sort of a little bit janky nowadays, right? Everything like streamlined, and the game is probably for a lot of gamers that maybe younger game is very janky, but it's all right. It's okay. You have your attacks, you have your special attacks, and you have your dodge. Don't really use it that much, but the game is really heavily on stealth, and I won't say that I'm not a big fan of stealth. I'm just saying I am bad at stealth, but I think they've done it in such a small way, because a lot of these levels are sort of, how would you say it, connected with a load stream. So they're really small, contained levels, right? And I think they've done a pretty good job at making you feel it's a really big level, even though it's a connected level with loading screens, of course. And it's not a super difficult game for me, someone that is not good at stealth, right? And also not super good in the combat system. It's really heavily reliant on puzzles, but again, even though I hate puzzles, it's not really that difficult. Get a fuse here, kick a box there and put the fuse in somewhere else, and along the way try to not get the attention of the guards. You sometimes have someone with you that can also use a special attack, and sometimes you have to use the attack, and then you can, kill or destroy your enemies. The soundtrack is pretty good. It's actually really good. I would call it magical. It fits the mood of the game. It's very sci-fi-ish, I guess. Really game-ish. It sounds weird, but stuff that you only see and hear in games, right? Or maybe movies. I played on the PS3. I got the HD version, and I think if I remember, if I look at the screen correctly, it runs at 60 frames, looks really sharp. I love the art design. I really like this game. In terms of storyline, it's okay. It's okay. The voice acting, everything is pretty good. Not entirely sure why some say like this isn't a fantastic story. But overall, I think that all the puzzles sort of fits together. And again, especially back in the day, it would really make you feel like you are part of this world. And especially what I really like is that you are basically uncovering a conspiracy, right? And slowly the inhabitants of Highland are sort of going against the dictatorship of that world, whatever, right? So they're sort of waking up, and you actually see that in the game where they're going to protest and stuff. I like that a lot. It's not sort of, it's not nowadays where you have these massive worlds and maybe massive crowds, but it is really cool to see that the world changes of the things that you have done. I really like that you can sort of, you have your camera and you have to take pictures of mostly like animals and stuff, and you'll get money out of it. And once your film, or once you've done a certain amount of pictures of certain animals, you'll get this special orb, and these orbs you can use to upgrade your vehicle. Now, I'm not entirely sure if you get a spaceship that you can also upgrade, but as right now, it is basically your hovercraft gunship that you can use. So I am really enjoying Beyond Good and Evil. My first playthrough. It was definitely on my list to play. And as I said, I am next week, finally, Lunar Collection. I will definitely go play that game. So in the meantime, let's see if I can beat Beyond Good and Evil. Now, leave it in the comments below. Have you ever played Beyond Good and Evil? What did you think about the game? And I also want to briefly really talk about something, just really briefly about Ubisoft itself, because as I mentioned, I have played Rayman 3 like last week and the weekend a little bit here and there. And that game is so cool. It's so unique. It's different, but it plays well. It's a little bit difficult here and there. And sort of the vibe and the music and the art design is so unique and so, I would say, magical. And now I am playing Beyond Good and Evil, and I have the same vibe, but with a different game. And I was just playing like 50 minutes ago, and I just thought to myself, Ubisoft, what happened? Where is all these creativity that they had on the sixth generation of consoles? And I think the only answer that I personally have is Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and these games that sold, I guess, so much. And I think a lot, it sort of is a template of all the open world games that we have right now, that they're just not doing anything else besides that. I would love to see a new Rayman in the style of Rayman 3, but then, of course, modern graphics and controls, whatever. But leave it in the comments below. Have you played Beyond Good and Evil? What did you think about that game? And you will see me next time.